Art is the thing that people forget that they need until they need it. Automatic. Automatic. Hey. Automatic. 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 Automatic.
That's right.
I love how you use a stripper analogy. That
It's
was
the
a great
truth.
analogy.
This is a labor. This is a.
Perfect.
I don't like the way that the labor exchange is happening around it. And why wouldn't I? What type of Frankenstein, Bugs Bunny, motherfucking math these niggas talk about? I'm supposed to get part of a fucking penny? Who looked at a fucking penny and decided it could be broken up into parts to be meted out to the people central to the fucking labor?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? All of this shit is a colonial hangover. All of their mathematics is similar.
Pirate Bugs Bunny mathematics seems like a term that should be in an economics class.
You know that Bugs Bunny episode where they counting up the thing? It's like a, poker gangster type of thing, and they counting it up. He goes, 1 for you, 1, 2 for me. 2 for you, 1, 2, 3 for me. 3 for you, 1, 2, 3, 4 for me. He said, hold on, wait a minute. It's that shit. No, it's fine. Silly, I'll do it again. 1 for you, 1, 2 for me. 2 for you, 1, 2, 3 for me.
Yeah, what do you do?
There was a recent interview with the owner or founder or both of Spotify. One of the pull quotes was that artists need to stop complaining about streaming compensation and they need to work harder. I'm paraphrasing. He said that it's not enough for artists to come out with a new project every 4 or 5 years, that they now have to be in a constant engagement with the audience because that is the prevailing habit these days. I was annoyed by that assertion.
As am I.
I could be wrong, but I don't imagine that the owner of Spotify has ever created anything artistic. It appears that he doesn't have like a real understanding for what it takes to actually be an artist at all, whether you're professional or not. It takes time, it takes focus, it takes a certain level of dedication to even cultivate a natural talent that you have. It's one thing to be talented, but to cultivate that talent takes time, it takes courage, and it's not something that's necessarily happening on this Ford Motor Company assembly line corporate robot schedule, as some people would assume. When people talk about works of art, you are not talking about inanimate objects. You're not talking about a pair of Levi's 501 jeans that have all of the rivets placed strategically, because it's a dynamic, customized experience. It's not a standardized thing. And I think the problem with that type of attitude towards art as it engages technology is that because the technology is a conduit to take it to the audience, that is what needs to be the priority.
You're absolutely right.
What the machine is delivering is a thing that the machine cannot do independently of its own. And it's something that is distinctly human. These motherfuckers have 100 million subscribers. The average Spotify membership is what per month? What, $10, something like that? 100 million people times 10 per month.
$1 billion a month.
It's just a $12 billion a year business. It takes me back to what Toynbee said about great art being timeless and not being bound by time. Confederate money is not money anymore, but Confederate art, simply because of the era that it comes from as a historical record, has more value than Confederate money. It's actually a currency of its own. In a lot of instances, I feel like we as artists, we as people, citizens of these different state structures, are giving away something real and almost invaluable and beyond any metric that you could put on it with fiat currency for something that is fake and transient. We're in this system, in this structure at this present time, so we're negotiating it to the best of our ability. But now, with the era that we're in, I think we've reached such a critical mass that these questions that may have been asked in academic circles are now out in the public. Like, what is it that we're really doing here? Why do we put so much effort into succeeding? It's healthy to take that type of inventory, particularly when those systems are showing to have such gaps and inefficiency, and that they oppress and enslave so many people. And freedom is the victory of every soul. Every soul wants to be free. People are conditioned to undue and unfair servitude, but it is not a natural state. What's at stake may not necessarily be our futures per se, as much as it is the futures of everyone after us. You don't have to fuck people over to succeed. Also, just talking about the roots of a problem. Okay, so just bear with me a little bit, okay? So let me break down this pact for the continuation of colonization as proposed by the French to their former colonies. 85% of the colony's money had to be deposited in French banks under control of the French Minister of Finance and deposited and invested in the French stock market at return rates that may or may not be divulged to those nations. If those nations wanted to access some of their money, they had to issue first a financial report, and if their request was accepted for their own money, they could access it as a loan at commercial rates. So they're making them borrow money from themselves to keep them in perpetual debt. Now just flash forward to what makes a stream, all of that type of shit. Or what you see in the record industry. These type of practices around labor and economics that are aimed to disadvantage people who are key to the process. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence that the attitudes and sometimes even the mathematics of those arrangements are so similar. And it's only since the presence of a certain type of personality politically on this planet Earth. The record bears to the truth of that. Just to be in awareness of that and know the way to remedy that is to unite against it, because it's aimed at everyone who shares our heritage globally on Earth.